Dear students, welcome to Lab 4. In this lab, we are going to learn how to write PL, Procedural Language Programs in SQL. So PL stands for Procedural Language, SQL stands for Structured Query Language. So what is PLSQL? PLSQL is a programming extension to SQL. It PL stands for procedural language here. Now, if you have noticed, the SQL, what we learned up till now, was comprising of writing the commands in the SQL prompt and getting or fetching the records or inserting the records in the relations inside our database. Now, how is this PL going to help us more? There would be many situations wherein you need to write a program that you can write it once and run it many times. This could be the one procedure. This could be one situation where you can come across the need of having a programming language. For example, I might have to calculate the GPA of the students, and calculating a GPA, there is no built-in function, so I need to write a custom function that can take all the courses, add them, and calculate the average, and find the GPA and give it to me. And I can use this GPA function to be used for many of the students, for many batches. So for many batch of students, I mean. So in such cases, we come across the need of writing a code that can be compiled once and run many times. Okay, so there comes us the need of having a procedural language extension to the SQL. It is very interesting and very easy. Let's move forward. So yes, here. Now let us talk about a few basics of the PLSQL. In PLSQL, we write the program in form of blocks. Okay, we will see what are the different blocks and how to write them little later. Yeah, let us understand that PLSQL is equivalent to have a database. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake here. It's like database language plus programming language extension. Okay, so database language is helping you to create, delete, update, and handle of the various operations in the database. And procedural language is trying to give you more edge on manipulating the database by writing a block of code that can be compiled once and run many times. The basic unit in PLSQL is a block. Like in object oriented programming languages, the basic unit of programming is a class, and in C the basic unit of programming is a procedure. But here in PLSQL, the basic unit of writing a program is a block. There are different blocks in a simple PLSQL code file. What are they? It is called as, there are three blocks. What are they? Declarative block, executable block, and exception building block. Let us see one of all of them in detail in the next slide. Now, as I have been telling you that there will be many situations wherein I would need to write a stored procedure that can calculate I don't need, yeah, that can calculate the a GPA or salary, or some custom function it can do. So I can write a stored procedure and store it in the database, and I can execute each of them on a specific situation. For example, if I want to know how many students are having the attendance more than 75, so that more than or equal to 75, so that they can write the final exam. And I do this maybe in the last week of the semester, later weeks of the semester, like 14th week, if the exams is in the 16th week. So I want this trigger to start on its own, on specific day and time, and do some calculation for me, and do some work for me. So such types of programs can be written by using PLSQL code, which cannot be done only in SQL. So it needs SQL and programming construct both things together to write stored procedures and the triggers. Stored procedures are analogous to your or similar to your functions in a procedure language. Triggers are, invoke like an event, like, invoking the stored procedure at a specific point of time to do some action on the SQL part. Okay, students. So this is the importance of learning the PLSQL. The best thing here is it can be compiled once. You write and save the SQL script, and you compile it once, and then it runs. It runs later on without compiling, because once the compilation is done, now it is ready to run every time. So you're saving time, right? You're saving the response time. Now let us see how the PLSQL script looks like. We said that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks that comprises a PLSQL program, right? Now here is the syntax. You write the declare keyword and you declare the variables that you're going to use in your PLSQL script. Something like this: declare variable. This is just an identifier. You can use any identifier that makes sense to the program. So here we are trying to put the student first name and the last name from the database. So we are saying first name varchar2 of 35. It's like, declaring a variable to hold 35 characters and naming the variable as first name. And we are doing this for the second variable as well, to get the second name or last name of the student. So this is how the declaration part looks like. The declaration parts take care about all the variables declaration that you are going to use in your PLSQL script later. Now the begin block will have the executable statements inside it. Now what do we have in the executable statements? Like inserting, deleting, calculating, all these things, inserting some data fields inside the relation, or selecting the fields or the records from the database. So this begin block will have some operations that you do on the relational database. Okay. Now exception will have, for example, if you are trying to if you're trying to do some work that may encounter an exception and stop the program from running and kill the program, basically terminate the program. So that type of a code can be written in the exceptional handling code. The begin block will also have the code like printing the output that we get, or that the output that we have by using a statement, a DBMS statement called as DBMS underscore output, responsible for, creating the output. Dot put line is a function that, takes a parameter of whatever we want to display. So in this case, we are displaying student name and the variables. Okay. So this is how the PLSQL program looks like. I am just trying to show you the picture of how it looks like with some not very detailed explanation. Okay, we will see each of this program in detail by running and writing and executing them. Now let us understand the difference between PLSQL and SQL. Unlike SQL, in SQL, what happens? You write the program, and then uh, in SQL, you write the command, okay, and then you execute it. There is no possibility of having if else statements. There is no possibility of writing a function and reusing it. So all these benefits are provided by PLSQL, programming language extension to the SQL. With this comes the ace of writing a program, okay, and then manipulating the SQL statement in an intelligent way. Okay, so SQL is completely unique. SQL is completely unique to Oracle. PLSQL is completely unique to Oracle's. It means a PLSQL cannot be used if you do not have an Oracle database. Okay, whereas SQL can be used with MySQL or SQL Server or Oracle. So SQL is a standard query language that can be used in any relational database. Point number one. Point number two, whereas PLSQL is like the extension to SQL provided by Oracle. It cannot be used. It is not, it is not applicable, or it is not portable to run on other database servers. Although it is not an industry standard, it is not an industry standard. PLSQL is not an industry standard, but other products do not use it. PLSQL is similar to non-object oriented procedure language like C and Pascal, and it roots back to Ada. Ada is a programming language, considered as a mother of all the programming languages. SQL and PLSQL are significantly different programming languages. Although it is limited, SQL enables the user to directly interact with the database, whereas in PLSQL, the user interacts with the database through SQL and also takes the benefits of using programming constructs like if else, procedure blocks, and exception handling, and things like that. Okay. Now, when you want to write a simple program in PLSQL, you have to write down at least two blocks, at least one block, which is the begin block, okay? Begin and end. Now, what do we do here? Here in the begin, we say we are just printing hello world, okay? So, dbms underscore output dot put line underscore dbms underscore output dot put line hello world. Anything that you give in the codes will be printed as it is. Now you need to give this slash mark in the end to indicate that it is the end of the file, and we do not have any other PLSQL coming after it. How to run it? While running the program, we have to set the server output on for making this line appear. Otherwise, what will happen if you forget to put the server output on, the procedure will run. If there is no error, it will run completely and you will get a message, procedure executed successfully, but you will not be able to see the output. So that is the reason why we need to set the server output on to see the output that we want to display by using dbms underscore output dot put line. Okay, so we need to set the output on. And the second thing what we have to do is we have to locate to this file stored in the disk. So for example, if it is stored inside a file called as activity1.sql. Okay, the other thing is that students, when we finish writing the program in PLSQL, we have to save it with .sql extension. Okay, so we have then, after it is saved, then we can come to the SQL command and write down at the rate and then the location of the file. Okay, and where are you going to write this? You can write the PLSQL code in any simple text editor, and don't forget to save it with .sql. Okay, so you can use it in simple notepad also. And then you come to the SQL prompt and you execute it. Okay, let's see an example here. Here we are having an example of taking two variables, declaring them as first name and the last name, and then we have the begin block and the exception block. Now, in the begin block, we are saying select first name, last name into first name and the last name, these variables from employees, where employee ID is equal to 204. So here, students, what are we doing? Okay, employee name. Yeah, we are trying to get the first name and the last name from the employees table, where employee ID is equal to 204. Okay, so after you get the data for the employee whose ID is 204, the first name is stored inside the variable v underscore first name, and the last name is stored inside v underscore last name. Okay, and then you print dbms underscore output dot put line, name of the employee, the variable, and the variable. So you see here, whatever we give in the double quote, in the single quote will be printed, and then pipeline character is like your overloaded pipeline operator, which will append the things that you want to display on the screen. For example, we want to append the value of this variable, so we say pipeline operator and the name of the variable. Pipeline operator will again append something more coming after it, which is the second name in our case. So when we give something in the course, it will display it as it is. But when we want to display the value of the variable, we write the value of the variable. And then we have except, okay, done. Now, if for example, if this record is being deleted or doesn't exist, or the file name or the tape doesn't exist, then the program can get into the exception block. Okay, the program will start its exception block. In this exception block, we can say when no data found, then print there is no student, sorry, there's no employee with employee ID as uh 2204. Okay. Hmm. So this is how it is done. Okay, please take a look at it and question yourself if you understood. It has to be employee with ID as three, employee with ID as 204. Okay, done. Now let's see another program, substitutional variable. Now, what is a substitutional variable? Uh, okay, let's move to the substitutional variable. Okay. Now, students, when you want the user to enter the employee ID, okay, so you can use a substitutional variable. Okay. So it's like, no, when you want the user to enter the employee ID, okay, so the user enters the value and then we use this value here. So here, instead of writing 204, now you can directly write down SV underscore employee underscore ID, or this one, V underscore employees underscore ID, right? This is a substitutional variable, and then we take the value, whatever user enters, and then we put it here inside this V underscore employee underscore ID. So we can take this and replace it here. Okay. So again, the same program, but only new thing here is we are trying to take the value from the user. Okay. So now let's execute this and see how things work. Okay. So, okay, done. Now we have, I have written already all these programs. Now students, like, I will try to run this activity 2 and activity 3 and activity 4, are the answers are given here. You are supposed to rewrite them, run them, and do all these things. But in order for you to understand it more clearly, I have written some programs already. Now let us see how they work. So we have a simple program, okay? A simple program here in the C colon, in the scripts. So this is important for me. I am copying it. And here I'm going to write down at the rate, okay? At the rate, why is it not writing? Okay, at the rate, and I have to paste this one. And what is the name of the file that I want to execute is, let's see, I have to give it here. Okay. Yeah. So it tells that go to the SQL script in the C colon and execute my underscore script script dot SQL. Okay, so it says PLSQL procedure execute successfully completed. Okay, but here we are saying we want to print hello PLSQL world, right? But why are we not seeing the output? Can you tell me why are we not seeing the output? Yes, in the slide we just discussed that we have to set the server output on. So we say set server output acha, this is server server output. Okay, now what do I have to do? I have to say on server output on. Okay, set beginning, there's a spelling mistake here, set server output on. Okay, just give me a moment. I am so We have set server output on. Yes. So basically, it was like a spelling mistake, unknown set. Actually, it's not taking in the capital letter. Okay. Set. Okay. Anyways, it is set now. Server set, server output on. Okay. There was a spelling mistake here. I made a spelling mistake here. I made a spelling mistake here. That is why it was not taking. So set server output on. Now let us run it again. So I'm saying execute my script, and you see we get to see the output. Okay. Now another program is my script underscore division. We are declaring three variables here, x, y, z, and we are declaring their number types as number, and then a float, and then we are saying x colon equal to, it's like an assignment operator, x is equal to 50, y is equal to 50, y is equal to 5, then z is equal to x divided by 5, and we want to say dbms underscore output dot put line quotient is equal to the pipeline character. Okay, now whatever you divide or number you have, number divided by a number will give you x divided by y will give you the value of z, but the z has to be now printed in the dbms output line. So you have to convert this into the character form so that it can be displayed. Okay, so now we have done with this. Then we say exception when y in case becomes 0, then just say divide 0. When divide underscore 0, then dbms output dot put line division by 0 error. Okay, so this is the task 1 that you have to do. So now let's execute this. We have MySQL script, and what is the name of it? Underscore division, division. And then we run it. You see the quotient is 0. Now let us make this as 0. Okay, so now in this case, what should happen? 50 divided by 0 will create an error, right? It creates an exception. So this part of the program should be executed. So now let us do this again. Okay, so you see division by 0 error. Okay, so exception part executed. Okay, so this is our second program. The third one also we executed. Okay, now we want to create a procedure. We just discussed that procedure is like writing a function and that can be called and executed. So this can be done in PLSQL, right? So how do we do this? We say create or replace procedure, create or replace procedure. Okay. Uh, I was just seeing that if the screen is getting shared properly or not. I believe you are able to see the text, right? Okay, please try to open this in the you are share. Okay, open this not in the mobile but in a bigger screen like an iPad or desktop is best, or a laptop is best. Now create or replace procedure. Okay, and then what is the name of the procedure? Welcome is. Okay, begin, end, and then we need to call it. So we have one more begin and end to call this procedure. So it's like, this code is a procedure code, and this code is your PLSQL code, which is calling the procedure. Okay. So in the procedure, we are just simply printing a line called as welcome to KFU, and then we're saying end. And then we have begin, and then we are saying welcome, and we are calling it, right? Welcome, we are calling it. Now, okay. So, now we say begin welcome, the control will go to the welcome procedure and then it will print this line. Okay, so this is how you create a procedure. Okay, so now let us execute the procedure. What is the name of it? My script underscore procedure. Okay, procedure executed. Welcome to KFU. Okay, done with this. Now let's do another one. Let me keep it all open. And then let us make it bigger. Okay. So we have done with the procedure. Now let us do, we did this, right? We did displaying of values from the employee. Okay, now let us do it. I don't know. I just explained you this one, right? Let me execute and show this. Okay, students. Now here what we are having? We are having two variables and then a begin command, which is trying to take the first name and the last name from the employees table. Okay, this employee table comes in the HR table by default. This we did in the lab 3, right? Okay, so employees table where the employee ID is 204. Okay, and then we are saying DBMS put line the first name and the last name. When there is no data, then you say employee doesn't exist. Employee with this name doesn't exist. Okay. Now let us execute this file. What is file name? The file name is a select. Okay, so we are writing a select statement here in the PLSQL. So my script underscore, give some meaningful names, students, so that you can remember which program is doing what task. So you see, employees, it says SQL statement is ignored. Table or view does not exist. Employees, okay. There is a table called as employees, where employee ID is this. Okay, so here, clear, CREEN. Okay, let's go back and try to figure out what is the problem. It says here, okay, this is what we are working on. Okay, uh, employees selects this name and this name from the employees, where ID is this. Okay, employee name. Okay, so now why is it not showing? There is an employee here, there is an employee table in the HR table, in the HR account, right? So we need to unlock the HR account. In order to unlock the HR account, we have to set the session, alter the session. Okay, so how are we going to do that? I will, for your ease, I will navigate it to oh, the text. Okay, so now we need to do this now. This one, alter, get the XEPDB one. See, our table is inside HR account. So HR account needs to be unlocked or connected. Okay. In order to connect, we need to, get the account altered. And then in order to get that, we need to have the session altered. Okay. So we are going to set the session, uh, set session, alter session, sorry, alter session, set container equal to XEPDB1. Okay, this is our portable. XE stands for Oracle XE Express Edition. PDB1 is portable database 1. Okay, got the session done. And then we will say alter user HR. Okay, identified by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 account unlock. Account unlock. Okay, user altered. Now we have connect to HR account. Now let us connect to CO. Connect HR slash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the password of it. At the rate, at the rate. Okay. Slash slash. It is running on localhost colon. Localhost number is on which it is running is port number is 1521 slash XEPDB1. Okay, connected. Now let us try to run. Okay, select. Yeah, you see PL SQL procedure. successfully completed. Okay, now set the server output on and see the output. Set the server output on. Okay, now run it. Okay, so you see the first name of the person is Herman Beer. Okay, so done. Why is it not showing us the last name? Okay, okay, let's see. Let's go and check our program. Where are our programs gone? Here. We see employee, first name and last name. Okay. So after first name, uh, yeah, it's giving us the first name and the last name. So we can just see here, uh, okay, employee full name with no space in there. So we can try to have a space here. So, and then the pipeline character. This is, so we want to have it here. Oops. So the laptop is new, the keyboard is, the keys are using not the QT keyboard. It seems to be a different keyboard that I'm using. So not many keys are there. Okay, so done. Okay, now save it and try to execute it. So we have first name space last name. Okay, so we gave a space here. Done with this program. We are done with the simple program. We're done with the division example. We are done with the exception example. Sim procedure we done. Okay, and we did this select also. Now using a substitutional variable. So I will run this program and tell you what's happening here. So what is the name of this file? Select my script select substitutional substitutional variable. Okay. Substitutional variable. Okay. Unable to open the file. Maybe some spelling mistake. It's so long. So let us make it easier. Let's come here, file, save as, Control C. And oh, what did I do? Control Z. I'm making some changes. No, it's like this. Okay, I'm trying to take the file name from the file locator. Okay, select substitutional variable. No, cancel. So we have here this copy paste, and then I'm going to copy the path. Okay, so here at the rate C colon slash substitution variable. Okay, dot SQL. Yeah, there was a mistake here. I wrote substitutional, but it is substitution variable, right? Okay, so enter. Yeah, so this is how it asks for the value. So enter the value for SV1. Okay, so I'm going to say 203. Okay, and now it will take 203 and then it will try to give me the value. Okay, let's do it again. Substitution variable. Okay, and then 204, and then you see there's a different name. Here it is saying Herman 204 is also Herman, 203 is also Herman. Herman Bear. Okay. So the table is having like this. Okay. Okay, no, because I'm just putting it here. Okay. So, it can be this value. Control Z, and I'm going to put it here, Control V. Okay. And then save. Okay. And here you can have substitution variable run under the value 203, okay, 202, and then you see a different name. But here, students, in the output, what you're saying is old value and new. But what does it mean? It means that the user is entering 202 for the substitution variable, and it is trying to tell you that this is the substitution variable, and we are putting it inside the employee ID, and then it keeps on showing to us the other output, what we want. But when we don't want this old and new, we can limit that. And how to limit that? Let's see how to limit that. We use I will let's see how to substitutional variable declaration PL/SQL block exceptional handling substitutional variable. Yes, if we don't want to see this new and old in the output, we have to say set verify off. So I'm going to say set verify set verify off. Now execute the substitutional variable example again. Okay, so um clear screen, sorry, clear screen. Yeah, execute the program. What do you want? Substitution variable. Okay, so two not two, and you see, you don't see now the old and new values of the substitutional variable. It just give you the new one. So this is how it's done. So we have executed all the programs. Please try, please do solve all the activities given here, execute and check. Okay, and then submit lab 3 in the Google Drive, in the classroom, Google Classroom. Okay, one more example here we have. This is for adding the sum. So we declare a variable called as number one, number two, and then we set total number, total, and the product. All their data types are of type number, which are taking 6 digits, which can take 6 digits at max. Okay, now we say begin colon equal to number one plus number two, then product is equal to multiplied by one and multiplied by two, and we display the result. So what we have here is to execute this program. So I will write down the file name in the path. So my script underscore sum. Number one is, for example, 300. Number four is 566. You see their total and the product. That's it for lab 4. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, send me an email, or visit me in the office. Thank you so much.